Welcome to I Love My HBCU ? The podcast where we express our undeniable love for HBCUs, but where we are also not afraid to address a few tough questions. So, sit back, learn a little, love a lot, and rep your HBCU.
We have been cracking up. So another episode, another reason to love your HBCU. It's summer 2025, and we've got a special summer series going on. July and August, listen, for those who don't know, our generation next thought leaders, our generation advocates, they're the ones that run everything behind the scenes for us. And they said, you know what we want to do over the summer? We'd like you guys to talk about specific subjects that we get to pick and you guys have to talk about. And here's a twist. You're going to talk to one HBCU Now student the entire time, and you're going to talk to one HBCU Made student. So pray for Madison Council, because she is the lovely HBCU Now student who is joining me all summer long to have some really impactful conversation. Madison, how are you?
I'm doing amazing, Dr. Tosin. How are you doing today?
Listen, I am good, but I am so I'm a little scared to hear what we're really going to be covering. Because again, we didn't get to pick these subjects. It is our generation next thought leaders that got to pick them. So let's get to it. Yours is, can we talk about celebrity fanaticism? Are you ready to get into it?
I'm ready. My seat is buckled. I'm buckled in.
Madison is amazing, by the way. Madison is one of our Gen Next advocates, and Madison, her voice is strong, and I'm looking forward to hearing all of the insights that she's going to share. Let's start with this, Madison. Who's a
Okay.
celebrity who's a celebrity you looked up to while growing up?
Oh, Lord. Well, while growing up, I would say celebrities that I would see on Disney Channel. You know, we grew up in that generation, Gen Z. The celebrities that were pushed onto us. I would say
Said pushed
Zendaya.
onto us. Okay.
Zendaya, she was like one of the first Black girls I saw. China and McClain. Have you ever seen Ant Farm?
No.
It's a great series. They had a Black History Month episode, and the moms loved that one. So,
Okay.
Ant Farm was good. Mainly, yeah. Hannah
So Disney
Montana,
Channel, Hannah
Disney
Montana, Disney
Channel.
Channel.
Yes.
So I'm going to be telling of my age a little bit. Mine was Michael Jackson, and I always share this story, and I welcome people to judge me. I don't really care. I welcome them to judge me. And when my father hears this, he's going to shake his head and say, "She's not lying." So I was such a Michael Jackson fan that I there were times when Michael Jackson was going through his Michael Jackson stuff and we'd hear about it in the news. Madison, I come from a family where we used to pray together every evening before we went to bed. And my mom and dad always asked us, "Hey, so what prayer request do you have?" Madison, do you know what I asked for?
Michael
Yes.
Jackson.
So I used to literally have my family pray for Michael Jackson as part of our I don't know if I would still be that person today, but I absolutely was that person growing up. I performed Michael Jackson in high school plays, you name it. I was a Michael Jackson nut, with a close second being Whitney Houston, or equitable
Okay.
Whitney Houston. I don't think it's a close second. It's equitable Whitney Houston. But I used to say prayers for Michael Jackson. Okay, let me get off of that. So yours is Disney. And I like the reason you gave, though, with regards to Zendaya being one of the first Black celebrities that you actually were paying attention to. I love that.
Absolutely.
Something tells me I know this answer, but I'm still going to ask you. Have
Go
you
ahead.
ever, as in you, Maddie, have you ever been a part of, what do you kids call it?
A
Stan.
stan.
She knew what I was saying.
Absolutely.
And it's
Yes.
okay. So tell me more. Tell me more.
Okay. So here's the lore. I was born in December. Okay. I was born in December. And Nicki Minaj was also born in December. I am a retired Barb. I am. I have changed my ways over the years. It used to be really bad, um, especially during quarantine. Nicki Minaj, she's Nicki Minaj.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. And I'm guessing that the Barbs out there will understand exactly what you mean.
they understand. They understand. It takes a special um person, a particular taste bud, an acquired taste, should I say. I even have like a Nicki Hello Kitty back there.
So why are you retired? Why did you retire as standum?
I realized that I can like someone without taking it to the extreme that I was taking it to. And so that just came with, I guess, maturity. And realizing that over time, hey, I can like this person without being toxic to people if they don't agree with my opinion. So it was like that light bulb, like, whoa.
We're going to get to that. We
Okay.
we we are going to we're going to that
It's gonna be a
phrase that
great
you just
episode.
said. You said without being toxic to people because I've been on the receiving end
Mm,
of toxicity because of some people's celebrity fandom. So I
yeah.
cannot wait for us to get into that. For we've got to treat you to the rapid fire, rapid 67. But
Okay.
before, because I am, if you know me well enough, I will tell you what I know and what I don't know. Can you inform me, teach the old heads like myself, the word stan, where did that come from? What is that?
Like Stan comes from Twitter culture.
Okay.
There's so many different communities and corners of that, well, X, that app. So Stan is like standum, fandom. It's basically just another word for a fandom.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. I never understood it. And after this, I'm actually going to go do some research. Like where did that come from? Where
Yes.
stan became the word? All right, rapid fire. This is a fun
Okay.
one. Our rapid
Rapid
fires
fire.
are very different in our regular season episodes. So, are you ready, Maddie?
I'm ready. I'm
Okay.
born
All
ready.
right, the clock is on.
Okay.
The Beehive or Swifties?
Beehive.
Beehive. Okay. Tyler Perry or Spike Lee?
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee. I'm glad you know who Spike Lee is because your generation, I be asking you guys some questions sometimes and you look at me like, who's that? So I'm glad you know. Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar. She's answering them like,
Absolutely.
listen. She's like, absolutely. Madison, fame or impact?
Impact.
Impact, okay. Formerly known as Kanye West, Ye or Curtis Jackson? That's what I call him. 50 cents.
50 Cent.
50 Cent. I always get that wrong. Anyway, as in the pronunciation of 50 cents, because I always
Right.
say, yeah. Anyway, this is a good one. You get to spend $1,000 for dinner with your favorite celebrity or the president of your university.
Wilson. I mean, yes, the president of my university.
The president of your university. She took a deep breath before she answered that though, and then she's squinting her eyes. I am dead. Okay. I'm not going to go into why all of that. Nah, not asking at all. Not asking any of that whatsoever. What is your unpopular opinion about celebrities?
About celebrities.
Absolutely.
My popular opinion about celebrities, I feel as if they're very misunderstood.
They are misunderstood. They're
I do. I do
misunderstood.
feel that way.
Okay, that wraps up the Rapid 67. I love your answers. I really, really do. Okay, I'm going to go back to that squint that you gave me before you said Wilson. Wilson happens to be the president of your university. Shout out Morgan State University and President Wilson of Morgan State University. Who were you thinking when I asked you dinner with your favorite celebrity? Because those watching Madison, you'll notice she gave a little wince first before she gave her answer. Who were you thinking? Who's the favorite celebrity that you were thinking before you went with the president of your university?
In all complete honesty, I didn't have a celebrity in mind. I
Okay.
favor a lot of celebrities. I don't feel as if I have a favorite though. The reason
Okay.
I was squinting was because I was thinking about the personality type of our president and how me and him are kind of contrast and how funny that conversation would be over dinner and just a
I
little bit
love it.
awkward, but like just a healthy amount of awkwardness.
So, number one, I love it. Number two, I'd like to see that dinner actually happen.
Me
So let's
too.
let's let's figure this out. Let's talk
Okay,
about this after the
we'll
recording.
talk.
How
We'll
about
talk. We'll
that?
talk.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay.
You said something earlier on, as a retired Bob. I'm gonna go back to I like that phrase. I'm a retired Bob.
Retired Bart.
I was never a Bob, so Maddie's the retired Bob, not me. You said that you realized that you could like somebody and support the person without being toxic towards other people.
Yes.
And that leads me to asking you if you could try to hypothesize, because you used to be one of those people, I'm assuming,
Correct.
that
That's
would be a
correct.
little hard on others. Where does that come from and why?
Feel like from speaking from personal experience, the time when I was super toxic on the internet, like I was saying back in 2020 COVID times, I'm shut in. It was stemming from a place of confusion. It was stemming from a place of anger, uncertainty, and I felt like I had lack of control of what was going on in my world, in my environment.
Right.
I can't go anywhere. I can't leave anywhere. What I can control is how I present myself online to people, what I'm going to stand for. And that was also a time period where everyone was getting canceled for everything. It was a very no tolerance time period that we were living in. A lot of activism. So I saw it as a way of me speaking out and advocating for these celebrities who don't know me, for Nikki, not paying a single bill in my household, but I saw it as a way of me, advocating for these celebrities. And yeah.
I was not expecting that response at
Oh,
all. That's why I
yeah.
went silent. Um, wow, I wasn't expecting advocacy to be part of it. I wasn't expecting confusion to be part of it. And maybe I'll be a little bit more open-minded to those who are extreme supporters of some celebrities. I don't They leave a bad taste in my mouth, Madison, if I'm being extremely honest with you. I cannot say one critical word. Again, no, you don't know Nicki Minaj. Almost every human being around me is a Beyonce Knowles fanatic. Fan is not the right word. They are
No,
nuts about her. And I'm
absolutely.
indifferent. I'm totally indifferent towards her. I admire what she's been able to accomplish. I
Hmm.
admire from the very little that I've observed. I admire her work ethic. I'm going to admire anybody with a strong, dedicated work ethic.
Of
I
course.
admire that. But beyond that, I'm totally indifferent to this person. Madison, I'm not allowed to say one critical word about a song. I'm not allowed to say one critical word about maybe a look that she might
Yeah.
have on. If I even utter, I don't really like, oh my Lord. Every single human being around me who happens to be a Beyonce Knowles fan goes
Hmm.
crazy. They ask me what's wrong with me.
Yes.
I mean, they leave a bad taste in my mouth, and I know I speak probably for a minority of humans who, because of them, i.e., the retired Barbz like yourself, that we actually end up not really liking the celebrity anymore because of the way you guys go so hard for them, which leads me to this. And I like the depth that you gave earlier on. You don't know Nicki Minaj
From a can of paint.
from a can of paint. These people in the Beehive, the Swifties, you don't know these people.
Right.
Why? And again, I'm asking you questions. Again, I'm actually glad that you said that you're a former Bob. So it is fair to ask you these
Of
questions because you
course.
can tap into that
Lay
mindset.
it on me. I got it.
Help us, the Tostons of the world, who have, yes, I was crazy about Michael Jackson, but not in this toxic way that people approach celebrities. Why do you guys go so hard for them? And in some cases, you go harder for them than you go for your own families. You go harder for them than your support of your own friends and your own beliefs. Help us bring us into that psyche, that mindset that allows you to defend these celebrities harder than you defend your own friends or your own values.
In all honesty, I feel as if it's the culture. It has a lot to do with that environment that you're in, to where I'll start off, hey, I grew up listening to Starship, Super Bass, I like Nicki. But then I meet a group of people who also like this person, and that's okay. Now that's like a club. But then when people start to take it to another level, like how you were saying, just being straight toxic and not letting other people be free thinkers and have opinions for themselves, um, it's kind of pushed onto other people to where you'll be demonized, outcasted, and ostracized if you don't participate in the bandwagon of defending your faith. So I do feel like it definitely boils down to culture, and I feel as if the people who are perpetuating that culture, I feel as if they have deep rooted insecurities and a lot of time, maybe too much time. I feel as if that energy, and the reason I stopped, I'm like, this energy, I'm gaining nothing from this. And I'm super big on energy. I can put this energy into learning a new skill, learning how to invest, opening up a Roth IRA account. There's better things to do.
She said opening up a Roth IRA account. How old are you,
What?
Madison?
I'm 20.
Okay, so everyone who is hearing the sound of Madison's voice, she just dropped a financial
What?
like
Like,
gem in there. For every student that doesn't have one, go talk to a financial person. Make sure you're opening one. Steer your energy there. Steer that $2,500 ticket.
ooh,
And I'm talking to you. You know who you are out there. I'm not going to say your name, but there's a particular student that I have in mind as I say this, who flew all the way to California on his own dime
mm,
just to catch a Beyonce concert and paid upwards in totality of close to $5,000 for a $2,500 ticket. Listen, listen, I do not know how that is going to be a great return on your investment.
mm,
So listen to Madison. Next time, put that in a Roth IRA instead. Okay.
yeah,
You said two things that made me think of number one, uplifting the culture and the celebrities that actually align to that. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on, and even names from you of celebrities that you think, hey, they actually do a good job of uplifting the culture and we should support them. But then you also said something else. You talked about the insecurities that different members of a community might have, which makes me curious, why such fandom in this way in different places? And this is I love my HBCU question marks. I'm going to be thinking
okay.
mostly about this group and population, i.e., Black people. Um, do you think that the desire for some of us to be famous is a byproduct of systemic oppression, or is it just human nature?
I feel as if it is a byproduct of oppression, especially when we have been put down for so many years and you see people who are at the top or the top 1% and they're being glorified. I feel as if our first automatic instinct is to say, that's the goal. That's where I need to be. And so now everyone, well, I would say generationally, speaking from my generation, a lot of people are more so trying to get into music, being content creators. There's a lot of artists and creatives, which is amazing. However, we still have to run an economy. So I do think it's from oppression. And it's not to say don't follow your dreams, just be realistic.
Mm,
That's okay.
mm. I as I listen, Madison, I love I love that you're the one that I get to have this conversation with
I'm so
because
excited.
I was scared. Can we be honest?
That is okay. Me too.
So when our cohort of Gen X advocates said, "Hey, we want you to do this for the summer episodes," and I was like, "Sure, sure, why not?" And then they started coming up with the subject matters, and I saw celebrity fanaticism. I was like, "What do you want me to talk about?" Like, I'm being very honest, and those
It's
who
like,
know
what
me
about
well
them?
know, yeah, they're like, "Toast, what?" I was scared that it was going to be this light, non-substantive conversation.
Mm-mm.
And
It
I
has to
am
be.
so grateful to you that it isn't, because there's some there's a lot of perspective that you're bringing that I just don't think about when it comes to celebrities. I think that's your world, this is my world.
This is my
And
world. Right.
and to give Gen X credit, they threw in some of the questions that you hear me asking Madison. They threw some of those questions at me as well. So
Okay.
the oppression question, that's not mine, that came from them. So kudos to the entire team
Thank
of Gen X
you.
advocates for bringing that forth. Because as you speak, as I pay attention to the influencers that we are seeing popping up all over the place, the content creators, I hear that what you just said. It's not necessarily the celebrity that many of them are chasing. It is, for lack of a better way, it's their way out of whatever,
Mhm.
like whatever.
Yep.
And for, I guess, when the Gen X students were talking about it, they used the word oppression. I don't think it always has to be oppression. It's maybe their pathway to financial freedom,
Yes.
maybe their pathway to agency, maybe their pathway to whatever it is they see as their holy grail of what they're trying to approach. And hearing your perspective on that, it actually is going to tailor the manner in which I see some of our influencers and some of our content creators. Because I just like, okay, here we go again. But it's going to change that for me. Um, which to me now is a perfect segue to ask your opinion on some of our celebrities, and they could be content creators and influencers. I probably won't know who they are, that you think deserve a special shout out, a special mention, because they are actually uplifting the culture. They're doing things that you observe and you're like, you know what? If someone is going to have someone that they look at and say, that's a good example of a celebrity, especially in Black culture, who would those be for you? Who are the top that come to mind for you?
I'd say first off, Doechii.
Okay, wasn't expecting that. Okay,
A few months ago, I wasn't either.
give me
She
more.
has grown on me significantly. I respect her. I respect her hustle. And one thing about Doechii is that I feel as if she had a slow come up. And like how we were saying with the influencers and the culture nowadays with everybody wanting to be an influencer, but it's like, what's your why? Financial freedom. Some people have that as their goal. Other people have, I want a community. I'm an influencer and a content creator. My goal is organic growth and building a strong community to where people that they want to be here for me, not because of what I can provide for them. I understand that's very significant to engagement, but slow growth overall. Doechii has been in the scene for so long. And I remember years ago, I would hear songs from her. I'm like, oh, Doechii made that, now that she has done her big one. And so even if I don't, even if I'm not her biggest fan or if I'm not a stan, I do appreciate her music. I appreciate her hustle and the fact that it took time. It showed she's not an industry plant, like people like to say. They just sprouted her in there. It takes time. It takes consistency. It takes setbacks. And I
Mm,
love how
mm,
she
mm.
is open and honest, like in her song Denial is a River. She's open and honest about those setbacks, about what she went through, about her house getting broken into. That's real. Growth is not linear. And so I feel as if Doechii is the first person that comes to mind when I think of, okay, she did her thing. She did her thing.
So listen. I need you to give me at least two more, and I'll tell you why. I don't know Doechii. I
Hmm.
don't listen to her music. I only have seen the, what's it called? The, headlines here and there. And
Right.
some are great, some are not so great, some are mixed. Listening to you, I'm going to go listen to this young lady's songs because I've listened to the way you have related something to her that may be the reason why some people actually also really like who she is. So give me more, give me more. I'm excited. Like you're giving me a
Okay.
list of people I should start paying attention to. I was not expecting this to be the turn of this particular conversation. I was expecting to be like, nah, I don't like this and I don't like that. That's not the turn. So give me more. Give me more. I'm
Okay.
excited.
Okay. So I also feel like Kai Cenat. Have you heard of him?
I know who that is because of one of you, but yes.
Yes, Kai Cenat. For those of you who don't know, is a up and coming, not up and coming. He's already did his big mark. He made his mark. He's a Twitch streamer. He's a black man from New York, and I also with him consistency, the grind, the hustle, the slow come up. There were times people were in his comment section bullying, making fun more than they were loving on him, and now to see that he has capitalized and made a brand off of what he's doing. And that's amazing. Streaming University just ended and that broke records. This man is proving time after time that he wants it badly and that he's willing to put the work in, even if it means streaming for the whole month. I could not imagine being under 24-hour surveillance, even while I'm sleeping, for a whole month for people to watch me. That is insane. Um, yeah. So I would say Kai Cenat for sure. Um,
Can we talk about Kai Cenat for 2.5
we
seconds?
can, because I can't think of anyone else. I don't really like them like that.
Okay. Okay. So, I'll tell you how I got to know who this is. Not kidding. I don't want to put her name out there. She's laughing as I'm about to say this story because she knows exactly that this is her that I'm talking about. But one of our Gen X advocates at I Love My HBCU question mark was talking about Kai Cenat, and I didn't know what she was talking about. And she said, "Oh, the guy that's like, he's," and then she just showed me. And what she showed me was during that 1 month period that you're talking about, where everybody is Madison Council.
Hi, present.
Help me understand, because I
Okay.
don't. I
Okay.
do not. And I said the same thing to this young lady, and she busted out laughing and she had no answer for me. So, Madison, you better have an answer for me.
I'm gonna try my very best. You know I am.
What? And this might just be showing my age. It might just be showing, oh my Lord, the generations are so different. It might just be that. Why do you care to watch this guy eat, bathe, sleep? Uh, he's not really doing anything spectacular. He's just living his life for a whole month. What's the allure to that? Because I was lost. Like she was really trying to show me, like, see, look what he's doing. I said, he's
He's brushing
sleeping.
his teeth,
He's
sweetie.
brushing his teeth. He's help me understand. Help me,
I'm gonna give you the real honest tea, not no fluff, no
please,
ring around.
please.
We are obsessed with parasocial relationships in my generation.
Wow.
Obsessed with it. Yes, that's what it is. Yes, while there are people who are genuinely entertained by his content, a lot of people are, but I do think the underlining layer is that people subconsciously start to think that they know somebody. Like, oh no, Kai wouldn't do that. Kai wouldn't do this. Meanwhile, Kai Cenat is a brand. Kai Cenat is a personality. He had a girlfriend for a very long time. People didn't know that. And so the time when he did come out having a girlfriend, it just goes to show we don't know this man. We don't know everything. He hit a whole girlfriend. She's amazing. She's beautiful. Shout out to his girlfriend, but that's his personal life. So that just goes to show people don't know him the way they think they do, even while he's being under 24-hour surveillance. But he knows that he can capitalize off of people wanting to be in his business, wanting to see what he does day to day, because subconsciously they want to be where he is. A lot of people who watch streamers also want to stream and would love to be in that position because it looks easy, it looks fun, it looks entertaining. Meanwhile, there's a lot of planning on the back end. There's a lot of moderators. There's a lot that goes into it that people don't even think about just on the back end. And that's not even including.
No, go ahead. You said that's not even including. Please no, listen. I am quiet and I am listening because you're dropping a lot of insight that I did not know
It's
and that I'm going to follow up with in a hot second. Keep going. Keep going.
This is safe space.
Yes, it
That's
is.
not even including his brand and his PR training. So there's also a lot of things he won't speak on, a lot of comments he'll overlook. He's big to the point where any little thing he does, people are watching. And I feel as if that's the nitty-gritty. Not only do people want to have parasocial relationships, but people want to see you mess up. People want to watch him. Is he going to brush his teeth? Is he going to wash his hands? Man, he's dirty. Just to say something, to maybe cancel
Wow.
him. That's what it is. Because people switch up like that, and they do. That's the tea.
You don't sound like a 20-year-old HBCU now student. You sound like a anthropologist meets a social worker, meets a sociologist, meets a clinical psychologist to me.
Thank you so much.
No,
That's my
no,
passion.
seriously. No, seriously. You went deeper than I thought you would. And please, because listen, when people hear this, they're going to be like, well, what did you expect? You're over I it may come off as if I'm overrating the compliment to your insight. That's not what I'm doing. I've been transparent. When I
Of
got this
course.
subject matter and Gen X said, you're talking about celebrities, I said, where the F am I going talking about celebrities? Come on,
That's real.
people. Do you know who I am? This is not what you want me to talk about.
She's like, I couldn't care less.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So what you're hearing isn't really me saying that I didn't think Maddie was going to come with it. What you're hearing is, wow, did she come with it? And wow, did she give some insight? Wow, did she make this a subject matter that I would easily have again? Because you've separated what might be superficial about it and actually asked us to put a mirror in our faces and
Yeah.
ask ourselves a lot of whys. Very quick, I know what parasocial relationships are, but for those who are listening who might not know, when you use the term parasocial relationships, A, what do you mean? And B, I want you to put on that young psychology hat for 2.5 seconds
Okay.
and give a little bit of advice with regards to maybe tailoring away from that. Because I honestly think that when I listen to you and the manner in which you've broken down the parasocial relationships, and you're not wrong. The minute you said it, I was like, gosh, Tosin, you see people talking about these celebrities this way, as if they pay your bills, as
Yeah.
if you know them, as if anybody's inviting you to Blue Ivy's birthday party.
Baby.
Like,
Yes.
come on. But that's the way in which they speak. They even write it. That's our minority for for the Kardashians. Oh, that's our Blue Ivy. I'm Blue Ivy's auntie. She doesn't know you.
Yeah.
Stop it. So sorry. Number one, how are you using parasocial relationships so that people understand how you're defining it? But also number two, put on your psychology hat and how would you speak to your generation with regards to steering away from that level of practice to toxicity?
Okay. Well, for me, I see parasocial relationships as, instead of having your viewer or consumer cap on, you have friend. This is my friend. This isn't somebody that is entertaining me. They're not working right now. And that's why a lot of people also see content creation and influencing as like, that's not a job, that's just a hobby. People don't see that as work, unfortunately. They see, oh, he's so funny. We have the same humor. That's my friend. I know this person. I've been watching them since 2018. There's YouTubers I have been watching since I was younger, and I've got to see them grow up, have kids, and it can be hard to take that cap off and to really ground yourself, I would say, and realize I don't know this person from a can of paint. They don't know me. They probably will never know me. And that's okay. And that's okay. So that's how I view parasocial relationships. But to come out of it, if you do look in the mirror and you're like, okay, I think I do that, because a lot of us do. I know I still struggle with it from time to time. We're human. It's okay. To come away from it, mindfulness, grounding yourself and asking yourself while you're watching your content, instead of doomlessly scrolling, why am I watching this person? What am I gaining from their content? Because if you really try to get down to the root of that question, you'll be able to see, oh, I'm watching her because she has luxury content and I want to be financially free to where I can be on a yacht with my luxury bags with my homegirls. That's my dream. That's your goal. That's okay. And while it's good to have inspiration, you have to work towards your goals. So I would say literally analyzing the content that you're consuming, because you're internalizing it. Analyze the content you're consuming, see why you're consuming it, so that you can see what you can do to get to where that person is. I think that's inspiration and motivation. I wouldn't use it as, oh, Kim Kardashian, I wanna be just like her. No, be yourself. And while also trying to analyze why you're watching them, I would also say try to learn yourself. Who are you? Because you don't want to just put on someone else's mask. That's not who you are. Take your mask off. Like Tyler the Creator said. Like Tyler said.
Sure, like Tyler the Creator said.
That would be my third. I love
That'll,
Tyler.
that'll be your okay. That's so it was Doechii, Kaisent, and Tyler the Creator.
Correct.
I'm definitely talking to Generation Next. I am definitely talking to somebody that makes no references to any of the people I would make references to. Which is okay. Madison, you said something that triggered a thought for me
Okay.
in your breakdown of parasocial relationships and reminding people that they do not know these people, they're not your friends, and that most to all of them, it's a job. It is a job for
It's a
them.
job.
They literally are working in those spaces because they take that off and then become who they are behind the scenes. Which leads me to ask you this. And you talked about cancel culture earlier on. When a celebrity does something harmful, and harmful is broad, what is your take, Madison, on whether we should separate the art from the artist? And can I be unfair? Can I be
You
unfair for 2
can.
seconds? I'm
You
going to be
can.
unfair for 2 seconds. I'm going to go there, Tosin. I'm going to go there. You know who R. Kelly is, right?
I'm excited. Yes, I was about to speak. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you.
So you know who R. Kelly is.
I do.
And
I
in
do.
2025, it's
Mhm.
kind of impossible not to talk about it. Sean Puffy
Yes.
Combs.
Yes.
There are, for the record, I'm fully aware that as I give those 2 examples, there are several others that I could mention.
Of
I'm
course.
only mentioning those 2 because I think there'll be a tad bit more widespread knowledge of who those 2 are.
Yes, I agree.
So I'm being unfair when I ask you to use them, or maybe I'm not being unfair. I don't know.
That's fair.
What is your take
Mhm.
as Generation Next, as a young one? What is your take on whether or not we should separate the artist from the art? That's it. That's it. That's it. I want to hear. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
I feel as if I feel like we should.
Mm,
We should separate. Well, okay. Oh no, wait. I feel like we should not separate it, but I don't feel like that's realistic because, in my opinion, I feel like it's performative. I feel like people will only say that when it benefits them in making their point in case. But when
mm,
it comes to their faith, because nobody's perfect. And I feel like that really is what it does boil down to. We're still humans. You know, people have a lot of complexities to them in their personality and their development. And I feel like people will make these statements like, oh well, you shouldn't listen to X, Y, and Z, and that makes you a bad person because they did this and that. And what do you say about that? Whoa, like the song is still fire. It's a great song. I love art. I still step in the name of love. Sue me. I don't really care. That doesn't mean that I agree with the person. That doesn't mean that I support the person. Am I going to listen to them and support them through Spotify? Yes. Either way, I'm still a consumer. It's going to happen. I don't have control over that, but I do have control over buying their merch, giving them direct payment, like going to go see them. I can acknowledge, like you say earlier, giving someone their credit. Giving credit where it's due. You ate that song. You might be a monster, but hey, you ate that song. But my opinion about those two individuals, I feel like they're people. They're humans. And do I condone their behavior? Absolutely not. And I don't agree with any of the things that they've done. However, learning to understand attachment styles, learning to understand how childhood traumas can play out in later in life, and in your adulthood, especially if untreated, if you don't speak to a therapist about what you've been through, the things you've seen, I feel like that's very overlooked. And there's a lot of adults who go untreated, who go without trying to heal themselves. And I feel like celebrities aren't exempt from that. And so that's why when we started off the episode and I said I feel as if they're misunderstood, that's really where I was stemming from, because we're all in the same boat. This is all of our first time living. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are just like Diddy and they don't have the money, but and that's not being talked about within this conversation. The Diddy's all over the world who don't have the platform, who don't have the money, who were just like that because of the cards that they were given with, and they didn't do the best they could with those cards. You know, that's kind of how I see it. Do I condone what he's done? Do I condone what any of these celebrities are doing? No, I feel like it's awful. But empathy is a real thing.
Wow. I think it is unfair for me to add anything to what you've said. I do. You said a lot to be digested. As
There's a
you were
lot.
talking, I just said I think it's unfair to add anything. I'm not adding anything to what you said. I'm just sharing my reflection while you were talking. I was listening to you. It was impossible for me as I was listening to you not to think of Harvey Weinstein and the Me Too movement. It was
Yeah.
impossible for me not to think about Bill Cosby
Yes.
and again, several other names. It was impossible for me not to think about those. And I think I will share what somebody said to me when the Bill Cosby case was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and why they were against. I cannot remember if it's TBS or one of the networks that took off the Bill Cosby show off of
Okay.
their network. I cannot remember which one it was. And the person said, but it wasn't just Bill Cosby on that show. It was several other people that were a part of the talent that we see. And the same could be said for all of the artists that we've just mentioned,
Exactly.
which kind of sort of makes the case, if you will, for seeing them as people quite separately from the work that they did and not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Madison, I am actually excited that I get to have conversation after conversation after conversation with you over the
Me
summer, because
too.
I am literally taking the dictate that was given to me by Generation Next thought leaders, and that we're going to do this. So we're going to see each other all summer
Yes.
long, and I
All
love
summer
this
long.
for me. I do. And this episode for me, though. Imagine you, Madison Council, are a
Huh?
celebrity. Leave our audience with one word or short phrase on how you would want to be remembered.
My close friend Sierra told me this phrase. So shout out to Sierra. And it's changed my life ever since. I want people to remember me as someone who poured so much into myself that I overflowed into other people's cups.
Madison Council, I love you, and I'm going to love our summer together. For anyone who is
Me
listening to the sound of
too.
my voice and has tuned in, come on, guys. It is impossible for you not to like this episode and subscribe, not because of me, but because of Madison Council. Yours in HBCU love. See you next episode. Love you, Madison.
Love you too. Bye.
You've been listening to I Love My HBCU ? Let's keep the conversation going as we share our stories and encourage more practical support of HBCUs, whilst of course holding each other accountable. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for the latest episodes. Until next time, love and lift your HBCU.